my name is Angelo, and I'm here to make a sort of, not comprehensive, but a general guideline as to what sort of makeup is good for you to buy, because I've had a lot of people ask me questions about what you need to start out, especially my trans feminine friends, and starting out is the hardest part of makeup, and I know it can be very overwhelming if you're looking at a lot of beauty gurus and makeup artists who have all of these things. It's good to have a set list of things that you need just to start out and do like very basic looks. So, the first thing you're gonna want to do, if I get a little closer to the camera, the first thing you're gonna want to do is look at pictures of the makeup that you are interested in. Somebody who is goth versus somebody who's like very pastel, very like Harajuku, that sort of thing, they're going to require different kinds of makeup. For example, somebody who wears all pink and light colors all the time may not want to do eyeliner at all, whereas eyeliner is very important if you're goth, if that makes sense. So it's like the first thing you're going to want to do is look up reference pictures and sort of see what those people are using, look up tutorials and see what those people are using, right? That's for specialty makeup. What I'm going to show you right now is going to be stuff that everybody should have. Something that's 100% important that you're going to need is makeup remover. These are wipes, but it's better if you use a cleansing balm, which is like a makeup removing soap. That's a good choice. Some people use specialty eye makeup remover, and that's really good, but only if you're wearing a lot of heavy eye makeup. Another thing that 100% everybody is going to need is a moisturizer. These are very different moisturizers. This one is a ultra dewy face cream, so it's not really a moisturizer, but it's a face cream that's very hydrating. I got it from Walmart for about $20, $25, somewhere around there. This is my favorite, but this is very high-end stuff, so it's high-end. But this little tub was about $45 from Ulta. It's the Ultra Repair Cream by First Aid Beauty, and the reason that I put such a heavy emphasis on this moisturizer is because I have eczema, and so I need a very intense, specialized, like oatmeal-based thing to prevent my skin from breaking out. Everybody has different skin conditions and different things that you're gonna need. So you should start off every makeup routine with a moisturizer, no matter what. Your face should be completely clean and moisturized before an ounce of makeup touches your face. So that's what you should start out with. If you can't afford something that's this fancy, which is totally okay, no shame, this is definitely a splurge item for me. Burt's Bees makes a really good moisturizer that I used to use, and it's only like $10 to $15, and you can get it at like your local CVS, at your Walmart. Burt's Bees is a good bet for moisturizers, personally, if you're looking for something that's a little bit more affordable and realistic. With your moisturizer, you should always apply chapstick. That's super important. I really like this one, which is EOS or EOS or however you pronounce it. And then I also have one that I got at Hot Topic that has Cinnamon on it. It's like a little cup thing that I really like. Alright, the next step after your moisturizer is going to be your primer. This one is it's like a primer serum, which is what I prefer, but there are primer sprays and primer creams, all kinds of different things, as long as it says primer. It may not seem important, but primer is what helps your makeup stay a whole lot. So you're going to want a primer if you're planning on wearing makeup for long periods of time. If you're just wearing it for like photos or whatever, it doesn't really matter, but if you're like an all-day makeup wearer, then it becomes a little bit important to have something like a primer. This one is the Brighten Your Day Wet n Wild Care Bear one, and I really like the Care Bear line that Wet n Wild came out with. I got the eyelash curler, the primer, the setting spray, and that's it, I think. But I really like it. All their stuff smells really good. The cleansing balm that I had, which was the cleansing balm that I had from the Care Bear line, smelled like cotton candy, and it was just absolutely delightful. And this smells the same way that Lemon Heads do, so if you like that, I'd recommend this. I'm not sure if it's still being continued or if you'd have to buy it somewhere like Etsy or eBay, but you get the idea. Those are the ones that I love personally. After that, you're going to need a foundation and a concealer. This concealer is it's a little old, so it's discolored, so don't use makeup that's in date, okay? This is just for example. So this is the foundation that matches my skin tone. When it comes to a concealer, you want it to be a little bit lighter than your foundation, like 1 or 2 shades depending on the amount of contour you're going for. If you're somebody who's transgender, it's important to have a concealer that's a good bit lighter than your foundation, because that helps you sort of contour. And so for us trans masks, it'll be easy to contour like cheekbones and hollow jawlines, whereas for trans feminine people, if you drag it down a little bit, it softens the features. So it's very important for trans people, especially for your shades to be different. So if you can look at that, my lighting is terrible, but like you can see sort of, want your concealer to be lighter than your foundation. This is also foundation. I keep it because most of my friends are paler than me, so yeah, I look very washed out in this lighting, but I use the shade 26N, which is light medium neutral. You're going to want to need, the next thing you're going to want to have in your kit is a contour, which is a shade that is darker than your foundations. This is my foundation and this is my contour stick. Notice how the contour is darker than the foundation. That's because that's what's going to be used to create shadows. So if you want sharper cheekbones, for example, that's where you're going to apply it. Concealer is used to create highlights and the illusion of light hitting the face. Contour is used to create the illusion of shadow. So if you're an artist, that's where you would be shading, and this is where you would be adding a highlight. Now, something that I find is consistently looked over is a setting powder. This stuff is super duper important, okay? I use the Lock-It Kat Von D setting powder. It's just the one my mom uses, so I started using this one. And this is a loose powder, which means it gets kind of messy. If you're somebody who's constantly on the move and you don't want to deal with the mess or this sheer amount of setting powder, I'd recommend a packed setting powder. The difference between packed powder and loose powder is like a packed powder comes in a container like this, you can flip it upside down, nothing comes out. Whereas a loose powder, as you can see, has like the powder inside the container. So yeah. I'd recommend packed powder for people who are not used to working with loose powders yet, so I'd recommend that if you're a beginner. To set, this is to set the concealer, so it will make your light parts lighter, and it also keeps your makeup set throughout the day. When it comes to a contour stick, I like to add a contour powder on top of it to help set it and keep everything in place. How you know if everything is set properly is if you feel your face after you've applied all of the powders that you need and it's not sticky. You want it to feel like skin. Otherwise you risk, like, if you sweat, it's gonna slide, and this is just a lot, okay? And that's what the setting powder and the primer is for. And there's a third product that's going to help things stay in place, but I'll get to that at the end of the video, or because it comes at the end of your makeup routine. Now, if you're somebody who's wearing a full face of makeup, you're going to want a blush, which is a color that's like a pink color like this. This is my most natural shade of blush, other than one that I'm going to show you. This is also a natural shade of blush. As you can see, it's relatively close to my skin tone, it's not super pigmented. It's going to look very natural. And if you're wearing a full face of makeup, it's going to absorb all of the warmth and color out of your skin, and so you'll need to add blush, that way you don't look like a mannequin or a corpse. My favorite blush, however, is this ColourPop X Sailor Moon one. It comes in this cute container, and it's bright pink. Obviously, that is not a natural color, so I'd recommend if you're just starting out and you're going for natural makeup looks to go with these colors. Yeah, this one is a Tarte blush, and this one is an Ulta blush. It's an Ulta. I would actually recommend these for people who are beginners. I used to have 3 of them, but I got to use them because they're really good. It comes with a contour, it comes with a blush, and it comes with a highlight, which is coincidentally what we're going to be going over next. So, we've gone over contour and we've gone over concealer and how that shapes the face. Another great tool for shaping the face is a highlighter. This is going to add a little bit of shimmer, a little bit of sparkle to the lighter areas of your face, places that you want to draw attention to, such as the corner of your eyes, your cupid's bow, the tip of your nose, and your brow bone. So you'd apply it right here. It's a really, really good investment. A lot of the times if you buy an eyeshadow palettes tend to come with a light shimmery color, and if you can only afford one thing, I'd recommend to get the eyeshadow palette so that you'll have those shimmery colors plus the colors that you're going to be interested in using for your face. Now, eyeshadow is where things start to get a little bit scary for people, but I promise you we're going to walk through it together and everything is going to be just fine. This is where it's important to take into consideration your style. So, for example, I'm somebody who wears a lot of pastel clothing, so I only have one neutral palette. right? So these are browns, light colors, oranges, reds, right? Most of my makeup palettes look more like this, right? Because I wear a lot of pink, I wear a lot of sparkles, I wear a lot of bright colors. These are good. I use a lot of ColourPop, which I think ColourPop is fairly priced. It's not like crazy expensive, and it's not super cheap either. So if you're somebody who's more middle of the road when it comes to pricing your makeup, I'd recommend a brand like ColourPop. If you're somebody who's looking for cheaper alternatives, you can go to your local Walmart, flip through the eyeshadow section. I'd recommend e.l.f. I adore e.l.f. I use their eyeliner. Yeah. And that's something that you can get like at Walmart, CVS, drugstore makeup, right? And there's no shame in using stuff like that. A lot of makeup comes with skill and practice, and it's not just the products that make makeup what it is. Alright, the next thing that I would recommend, which can seem to be the scariest thing for people, is an eyeliner. This is a liquid eyeliner, so it comes out in a brush like this. It's kind of like a dip pen, right? Which that's because I've been wearing eyeliner for a very, very long time. I had a crazy emo phase in middle school, and now I'm in college. So, using a liquid eyeliner, like a straight up dip liquid eyeliner like this, may not be a good choice for your first time. I'd recommend a felt tip, which becomes more like a pen, or if you're somebody who is either very nervous about winged eyeliner or you have a disability of some sort and so your hands are shaky, I would recommend stamp eyeliners, which come with a preset stamped wing, and there are a lot of really nice small businesses that make them. So I'd recommend those. But eyeliner is not a necessity, and I promise you it just takes a lot of practice, so don't beat up on yourself if eyeliner doesn't come as easy to you the first couple of times that you do it. So yeah, hope that makes a little bit of sense. Now, I noticed that I don't have one because honestly, I use eyeshadow for the most part when doing this next thing. Your brows. I have very, very thick eyebrows. This is my face with no fill-in for my eyebrows. So me filling in my eyebrows isn't necessarily a necessity. So if you're somebody with very thin eyebrows, or you need help shaping, I'm not the channel to go to for that, because I just pluck my eyebrows or wax them or shave them into just their natural shape, and I leave them that way just because they're not very high maintenance for me. And so I just fill them in with a little bit of black eyeshadow because my hair is naturally black, and so my eyebrows are black. But I have heard that Benefit Brow makes a very good eyebrow pencil that's good. That's another thing that's going to take a lot of practice. It's very easy to go heavy-handed on your eyebrows. I used to do it because I thought I had to fill mine in like everybody else. So, you know. Next thing that I recommend for everybody is a mascara. Mascaras come in all sorts of different colors. Once again, I have naturally black hair, so my eyelashes are black, my eyebrows are black, therefore my mascara is black, right? But if you're somebody who's going for lighter makeup looks, you might be interested in like a brown mascara or any sort of fun colors if that's a thing, but I recommend that everybody have like a black mascara just because it's what makes your eyes stand out the most. Now I'm sure everybody's asking, what about fake eyelashes? I wear absolutely ginormous fake eyelashes. They're massive. If you cannot fly away with them, I don't see the point in wearing them personally. Well, Angelo, what about fake eyelashes? I'm super interested in wearing those. I think they're really great. Well, first of all, I wouldn't recommend fake eyelashes if you're somebody who's just starting out, because me personally, fake eyelashes are what I found to be like the most difficult thing ever. I wear really big ones now. These, I wear those, which I got from Walmart. So no shame in buying things from Walmart, my friends. Got good stuff there. Got good stuff. So I wouldn't recommend it, but if you do, you need eyelashes and a good eyelash glue. Lip gloss really depends on who you are, what you wear. So I recommend personally like a good lip gloss. Like just get like one good lip gloss and you're all set. At least to start out with. This is a Morphe lip gloss, which I really enjoy. It's like this shimmery, pretty pinkish, yellowish, sparkly color. It's super great. Now, we need to go over some utensils, right? So the first thing that I'm going to recommend that you have is a headband of some sort. You can have one like this or one like this that is going to be keeping your hair out of your face, because you will waste a lot of makeup if you're sitting there doing this over and over and over again and getting your hair all covered in makeup, and it's just a pain. It ruins your life, and you don't want that, okay? You're going to need makeup brushes. This is a lot. You don't have to have this much, okay? The main ones that you need are one to put powder on with, one to brush your eyebrows with, and maybe a couple of different kinds of eyeshadow brush. You don't need a ton of brushes like I have. I just wear a lot of different colors and it makes my life easier if I have more than one brush. Also, I would suggest investing in an eyelash curler. Curl your eyelashes before you put on mascara. Always. Unless you want to lose your eyelashes, in which case feel free. But an eyelash curler. This one is a cute little Care Bear one theme that came with my mascara that I really love. So there you go. I'm a little biased, smidge biased. Now, the massive debate on what to blend your eyeshadow and concealer in with. I'm team brush. I like makeup brushes. So there are multiple options. You can use a sponge. You can use your hand. You can use your hand. You can use silicone blenders. I've used pretty much all forms of blenders, right? So like I've used beauty blenders, which I found carry a lot of bacteria and they're a pain to clean and they look really gross and like at least me personally. Like no hate to people who use makeup blenders, right? But they're just high maintenance to keep clean all the time. Whereas a brush, like every few days you just wash all your brushes out together and life is okay. Silicone, I found it didn't blend properly. It always ended up streaky for me, so that's why I'm not silicone. And you should not touch your face if you can avoid it, especially when you're putting on makeup, because your hands have hand oils and your face oils are different than your hand oils, and it'll cause breakouts, and you just don't want to deal with all of that. So avoid touching your face if at all possible. Any product that you can apply with a brush should be applied with a brush. And the last product you're going to need is a setting spray. This is going to hold your makeup in. This is Get Through the Night, Wet n Wild Care Bear collab. It smells like lavender. I dig it personally. It works really well for me. So yeah, that's what I use for setting spray. Alright, so obviously you don't need all of these things. You don't need all of these to like succeed. You can start with just mascara and a lip gloss and you're all set. Some people wear different amounts of makeup and you're gonna probably not be so great at it your first couple of tries. I know I wasn't. I learned a lot of makeup from my mom and off of YouTube, and so it just takes a lot of practice and you need to be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself. Nobody's good at everything the first try, right? And if you do try out makeup and you don't like it, there's no shame in that. You don't ever have to wear it again, right? So it really just depends on your personal preference, your self-expression, and keep in mind all my trans people out there, especially my trans femmes, you don't have to wear makeup to make yourself pretty or girly enough. It's not necessary, but if it's something that you enjoy and something you're interested in, I'm hoping that my channel going forward can be very helpful to you. So yeah, I hope that this was super helpful for you. I hope that this makes it a little bit less overwhelming if you have a cohesive list. I'm gonna scoot over right here. I will be putting my favorite affordable makeup brands if you're somebody who's low income, because makeup is for everybody and you shouldn't let price barriers keep you between something that you're interested in. So yeah, I hope that everything was super helpful for you. I love you guys so much. Angelo out.